Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Today I'm gonna share with you a new chin chin recipe that I created. It is very healthy, it is delicious, it is crunchy, and most importantly it is very affordable. And by the time you taste it, you won't believe it was made with sweet potato. Yes, you heard me right. I said sweet potato. Sweet potato is one of the main ingredients. So I'm going to be using pre-cut sweet potato chunks. It is about 4 cups. So this is equivalent to 2 medium sweet potatoes or 1 very large sweet potato. If these potatoes were not peeled, I would have baked them, but since they are peeled, I'm going to steam them. And of course, in order to steam the potatoes, you're going to need a steamer. In the pot, there's some water that I'm going to heat up on medium to medium high heat and bring it to a boil. When it comes to a boil, I'm going to add the potatoes and steam them until they are done. When they are done, they are going to be soft and tender. You do not need to add sugar, salt, or any spice. Just cover it and steam it for about 20 to 30 minutes. Once it is done, you can mash it or check it with a skewer. Once it goes in smoothly, you know it is done. Now that the sweet potato is done, I'm just gonna let it cool down a little bit before mashing it. Once it has cooled down a bit, I'm gonna pour it into a bowl and mash it with a potato masher. You could also puree it with a blender or with anything that can help you mash it up. So if this is your first time on my channel or you are a returning viewer and you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button and on the notification bell so that you can get an alert whenever I post a video. Like and share the video. Thank you and God bless you. When I'm done mashing it, I'm gonna set it aside to continue to cool down while I measure out the dry ingredients. I'm gonna be using 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of nutmeg, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and sift everything together. I know a lot of people don't add cinnamon to Nigerian chin chin. It is optional, but if you decide to add it, it's gonna take this chin chin to another level. So when I'm done sifting the flour, I'm just gonna whisk it to make sure everything is well distributed. It is very important to stir your flour perfectly whenever you add something so that there will be an even distribution. So I just added a 1/4 cup of butter. You could use margarine. So I'm gonna use my fingers to blend it into the flour. So I'm going to continue to mix the flour and butter together until it looks like breadcrumbs. So this is what it should look like when you are done. So it is time to add the sugar. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of white sugar and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. You could use only granulated sugar if you want, but I like the extra flavor from the brown sugar. And if you decide to use granulated sugar alone, use 1/2 cup instead of a 1/4. So you also have to mix the sugar in properly so that there will be an even distribution. So when I'm done mixing everything together, I'm gonna make a well in the middle of the flour for the mashed sweet potato. To the flour mix, I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of the mashed sweet potato and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. It is optional, but when you add it, it's gonna be tastier. So I'm just gonna mix everything to combine properly, just the way you would mix it after adding egg, milk, or even water. For this recipe, we're not gonna need milk, egg, or even water. The mashed potato is enough to moisten the flour. And like I told you at the beginning, that this is very affordable because you do not need to buy milk or eggs. The best thing about this recipe is the additional nutrients you get from the sweet potato. Sweet potato is very rich in minerals, vitamins, and fiber. The minerals and the vitamins are good for your body. The fiber helps with your digestive system. So when you eat this or give this to your family, your kids, you're gonna be eating a very nutritious snack. So let me use this opportunity to send a very special shout out to all those that have subscribed. You guys are the best. I love you. Thank you and God bless you. And don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms. Thank you. Besides the nutritional value of the chin chin, I love the color. It is so pretty, and the smell, it smells divine. You'll be tempted to eat the dough. So this is how the dough should look like, a solid ball of dough. I'm gonna cover it and let it rest for about 30 minutes so that it will be very easy to roll out. 30 minutes later, as you can see, the dough is well relaxed. I'm gonna roll it out and cut it. I'm also gonna be using a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour for dusting so that the dough doesn't stick to the board. Whenever I make my chin chin, I like to cut the dough into manageable size so that it will be very easy for me to manage. Dust the board with some flour before you roll out the dough so that the dough doesn't stick to the board. I like to flatten the dough with the heel of my hand before rolling it out. It gives it a head start. So whenever I'm rolling it, I like to move it around, flip it back and forth so that it doesn't stick to the board. I'm going to roll it out until it is very thin, because the thinner the dough, the crunchier the chin chin. And don't forget that they will rise when they hit the oil. So I'm going to use a pastry cutter to cut it. You can use the straight or the crimper side. I like to use the crimper side because it's pretty when you cut it, but it loses its shape when you start frying it. You can also do this with a knife. That is how it has been done traditionally, but it is faster and easier when you use a pastry or pizza cutter. So in case you have never made chin chin before, what you are trying to do is to cut the dough into little squares. You can also cut them into other shapes. I have 3 other chin chin videos. One of the videos is titled 4 ways to cut chin chin. In the video, I described and I showed you in details how to cut chin chin and the different shapes. And I also have the traditional Nigerian chin chin recipe and also coconut chin chin. I'm going to be leaving the links in the description box. You can check them out later. It is very fast and easy to cut the dough with a pastry cutter compared to cutting it with a knife. So when I'm done, I'm just going to transfer this to a tray, then repeat the same process until I'm done. Whenever I'm in the kitchen by myself making chin chin, I like to finish cutting the dough before I start frying them because I don't want the chin chin to burn. But if you are able to fry and cut the chin chin at the same time, good for you. So in a pot, I'm going to pour in some vegetable oil, enough to deep fry the chin chin, and I'm going to heat it up on medium to medium high heat. So check with a skewer to see if it is hot enough. Once it bubbles, you know the oil is ready. Now it is time to fry the chin chin. After dropping the dough into the oil, try to give it a quick stir because they clump together. So when you stir it, it's going to help break them apart so that they don't clump together. And I'm going to be stirring it frequently at each interval so that the chin chin doesn't burn on one side, because we want them to develop a uniform color. If you have watched any or both of my chin chin videos, I said in the video that you should not wait for it to develop a darker shade before you take the chin chin out, or wait for it to be crunchy, because when you bring out the chin chin, it's gonna develop the color. But it is different in this case because the dough is already orange in color. So you have to fry it until you see a change in the color before you bring out the chin chin. If not, the chin chin is going to be softer, it's not going to be crunchy. So fry the chin chin for about 5 to 7 minutes. When it is ready, this is what your chin chin should look like. It is darker. If you fry the regular Nigerian chin chin like this, when you let it cool down, it's going to look burnt. But this one, it is okay because of the color and the sweet potato, the fiber in the sweet potato. So you have to fry it longer to have that crunchiness. Look at it. Is this not the most beautiful chin chin you ever saw? And it is extremely tasty. So I'm just gonna continue repeating the same process until I'm done. So this is a quick reminder, if you are still watching the video to this point and you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, like and share the video, invite your friends. Do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section. And also follow me on other social media platforms. If you're active on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, I'm also there. You can follow me there. I have other wonderful recipes on my website and on my YouTube channel. You can click on my channel to check for more recipes. Finally, the chin chin is ready. I'm just gonna spread it out to let it cool down completely. So in case you want to know whether it's crunchy or not, let us listen to the crunch. Very crunchy and delicious. Now that you know it is very crunchy, I promise you it is equally delicious. The sweetness from the sweet potato, the flavors from the brown sugar, cinnamon, vanilla extract, nutmeg, it is to die for. See, by the time you make this for your family, they're gonna enjoy it. It is a guilt-free snack, very healthy, full of nutrients, and less greasy. So it is win-win-win. In order to maintain the crispiness of the chin chin, it is very important to store it in an airtight container for weeks or even months. That is if you are able to overcome the temptation of eating it within a week. So if you like to make healthy snacks for you and your family, why not give this recipe a try? I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You're gonna love it. So thank you guys for watching. Till I see you next time. Stay safe, stay blessed. I love you. Bye.